Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and we are in store for a very big week. We've got CPI and PPI data live on the show. We've got an XRP breakout happening as we speak. We've got an IPO frenzy coming up this week with quite a few IPOs. What does that mean? What are the IPOs? Am I buying them? What does it mean in the sense of last time we had this many IPOs? It was sort of a market top indicator last cycle within the next sort of 6 to 12 months. So is that the same thing occurring now? Because we've got many IPOs coming out this week and next. I think it's the most IPOs we've seen in a week for a very long time. We've also got potentially a 50 basis point rate cut, and also gold and silver. Is there a short squeeze coming up? So all of that will be discussed in today's video. You are watching the morning forecast show. Every single trading morning we go live with the morning forecast show 2 hours before the opening bell. Then we go into the main show with Martyn with the bell. So XRP, we're looking at it right now. Let's just have a quick overview of the markets. You can see XRP is literally on the brink of a breakout as we speak. It is depending on how you draw the line, we might have already just broken out as of yesterday and today, but today it looks like we have broken out of this downtrend. Next level would be $3, then $3.40. So it does look like the momentum is coming back to the crypto market, especially with XRP having a breakout. Today could be the first day of that breakout that takes us to all-time highs. So just keep that in mind. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. This is my thought. My cash in the attack. No, I don't know what's going on in the chat. This could be the breakout that takes us to all-time highs. Let me just go to the chat because everyone's winding me up. Sensei just up. Looks like he got the coffee. I need a coffee, Yestin. It's been a rough morning. Cash in, and it's not even morning, it's 12:45. Anyway, cash in the attack is on. Martyn, you've not even got it right. You've launched an attack against me, and everyone's now following suit. But what is cash in the attack? It hasn't worked out brilliantly because that's not what the joke was. What did Martyn say? Martyn said, lol, the question is, folks, could Sensei put anything else on his thumbnail? He's talking about my pose on the thumbnail. It's just the one I like to use. Let's wind him up. Then this gets him going. Remember the Sunday BBC show about selling stuff people will find in the attic, Martyn, not the attack. In the attic, not the attack. That's a bit like Sensei's show. So what we like to do is wind him up. It's also copy and paste cash in the attic. Yes, cash in the attic. Yeah, that's what my show used to be called. Well, that's the name that Martyn gave the show. Anyway, I'll let you guys continue having fun, and I'll continue with what matters rather than cash in the attack. Okay, so yeah, XRP does look like it's breaking out. You can see it right here, might be the first candle. We'll see how it closes tonight, but it does look like the first candle that can take us to those all-time highs as a breakout. Remember, my theory has always been July was going to be at the end of July, we'll get the breakdown. In August, we'll have a down month, sideways month, $2.62, $3.40. September, first half, would potentially be continuing with the downtrend. Second half of September, I've said we can go and try and revisit those all-time highs. So there it is. Yeah, now Martyn's got the right one. Now he's saying cash in the attic. There we go. Martyn, if you're gonna form a attack against me, you might as well get it right. So let's go on to the next chart. What else do we have in store? Well, we've got a lot of news to get through. So make sure if you have just tuned in, please do hit the like button and subscribe. I do want to go through the IPOs. I do want to go through, let's have a quick look at gold and silver, because gold, I believe, hit all-time highs again today. Yes, it did. Ever since, remember, people said we're going to start going back down. Gold has topped out. I said no, this is just a continuation pattern. This rectangle is a continuation pattern. You came into it bullish. Remember, we've done this on our training course in the Discord as well, to identify continuation patterns, reversal patterns, all of that. And this is certainly a continuation pattern. You go in bullish, you accumulate sideways. Even if it's a rectangle and it's not a bull flag, it doesn't matter. You're just consolidating. The next move is expected to be up when you break outside of the top of the range, and that's what's happening. Very, very quick moves on gold. In the last week, we are up about 5% on gold, and that's a lot because gold is the largest asset by market cap in the world. So it takes a lot for gold to be up 5% in less than a week. So the next target on gold is potentially $3,684. Let me just double check that. I'm getting put off by all these cash in the attic comments. Yeah, the next target is potentially maybe a bit higher actually. 3,740, or if you're not looking at the wicks, then the other target would be, well, we've gone past it. So yeah, I'll be looking at $3,730 as its next target. We do have that longer term target that we are expecting this year or next, which is $4,000 plus on gold. We do expect next time gold slows down, silver to start outperforming it. So if we go into the silver chart as well, and this is where we can start getting a short squeeze on silver. Silver is also breaking out towards the upside. In the last few days on silver, we're up 8%. So silver is actually now outperforming gold. We do have targets here for silver of $44, $49, which is about $50. And then beyond that, you are looking at all-time highs, $75 and potentially $100 an ounce on silver. So things are moving up for gold and silver. But let's get into our main headlines of today. So if we go to our newsletter, remember the link is pinned in the live chat. It's also the first link in the description. Go and check it out if you want all the news to your inbox every single day. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm feeling like this today, but not very well. Anyway, Sensei's morning forecast. From gold peaks to a make or break IPO moment. Markets on edge ahead of the Fed. Markets on edge ahead of the Fed as gold hits new highs. Robinhood joins the S&P 500. A wave of US. Oh, I messed that bit up, didn't I? All eyes turn to CPI print that could shape everything. Anyway, moving on. That's not the important part. So today's key stories at a glance. Robinhood joins the S&P 500. Robinhood shares surged 7% after securing long-awaited S&P 500 inclusion, replacing Caesars on September the 22nd. We'll come on to the Robinhood chart. Actually, it's the chart of the day in the newsletter, so if you do want to check it out, it's in the newsletter. We've also got UK stocks rise on oil rebound. The FTSE 100 gained as oil bounced back, but physical concerns keep pressure on UK bond markets. Gold hits record highs. London IPO market is in crisis. IPOs collapse in London as fund managers pivot to private assets, chasing better returns and liquidity. Russia strikes Kiev cabinet HQ. Russia launched record drone strikes on Ukraine, hitting Kiev's government HQ and escalating geopolitical tensions. Also, in the deep dive, we're talking about the calm before the Fed. Markets brace for inflation data and IPO wave ahead of Fed's rate cut decision. Volatility hinges on CPI outcome. So let's get into those stories in a deeper way. We've got the Robinhood story there. If you are a free subscriber of the newsletter today, you can actually view the five things to know. So do go check out those stories from today. We might circle back, but we probably won't have time. So let me go into the deep dive of today's newsletter and top story. And the calm before the Fed. And the calm is not going to be very calm. let's get into why this week is going to be a pivotal week. If you have just tuned in, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Let me have a quick look at your comments before I go through this piece on the newsletter. Green. Yeah, we do have a poll running right now. Will this be a good week for the market? Super bullish, 43% of people are saying super bullish, 36% of people are saying bullish, 15% bearish, 6% super bearish. So most people are optimistic for the week ahead. Got some gold and silver, Angie. We love it. 2 years ago, I told my father-in-law to invest in gold. He never, and now complains he would have made loads of money. I just shrugged my shoulders. Sick boy, customs. Well, you did your bit. Let me just go through some of the. What's all of this? Guided traders. Can someone block or not, or just time out guided traders? I have no idea what that comment's all about. He's done it a few times now. Michael Murphy, please be. Oh, what's all of this? Green. Oh, okay, guided traders, maybe you're okay, but I don't know what, that just looked a bit scammy, this comment. I have no idea what this was all about. Just be careful with what you comment because you might come across as a bot. Sensei, it's XRP day, bro, 589. No, XRP is not going to hit anywhere close to $589 anytime soon. Good morning, I just bought a 2002 Britannia. I don't know what that code is. 1 ounce. What's this code? Is that maybe that's the website's code? A 2002 Britannia, 1 ounce. If you're here in England, then that's capital gains tax free as well. If you buy these coins, you do, even if it goes up in value, if you sell it because it's legal tender, you don't have to pay any capital gains tax. So that's another perk and benefit for holding legal tender coins which are made of gold or silver. What if I don't have an attic? I don't even have an attic, Rallo, so I don't know why my show is called Cash in the Attic. Good morning, Sensei. It'll be nice to see XRP over $3 today. We could possibly get there. The date is going to be 2000 before you know it. The date is going to be Guided traders, you're coming out with some very strange comments today. Let me just... let me just send this. Okay, let's get on to the main story, which is over here. So this week is the calm before the storm leading into Federal Reserve's crucial FOMC meeting on the 16th to the 17th of September. So the actual news conference is on the 17th of September. Markets are highly sensitive to incoming data as traders build expectations ahead of potential rate cuts or surprises. A misstep in inflation readings or geopolitical developments could blow the narrative off course. So we're getting so close to that FOMC meeting. If I give you a refresh of this screen over here, we are now, let me go back here. Why is this not working? We are now basically 100% pricing in a rate cut, and now even a 50 basis point rate cut. So this data that comes out this week, which is CPI, PPI, even more jobs data, is going to have a very volatile effect on the markets because the market has already gone ahead and priced in rate cuts. If there's anything to suggest otherwise, then it can be very volatile in the markets. So macro data calendar and what to watch. So we've got a lot coming out this week. We're going to be covering the FOMC meeting, the PPI, CPI, IPOs, all live on the show. So make sure you are subscribed and you are hitting the like button. PPI is the producer price index. We're getting that. We get this once a month. Wednesday, 10th of September, in 2 days' time, in the morning forecast and in Martyn's show. I guess we'll probably both be covering it, at least me with the build-up. You've got the PPI coming out on Wednesday. This measures wholesale inflation for August. A high reading could raise concerns over sticky inflation. So that's coming out on Wednesday. CPI is coming out on Thursday. Headline CPI is expected to be around 0.3%, while core is about 3.1% year on year. This is the Fed's last major inflation gauge before the policy meeting. There is no more data that they're going to go off. This week is obviously the last week of data, and it includes PPI and CPI, the two biggest ones that the Fed looks at for inflation. And that's coming out this week. So this will be a volatile Wednesday and Thursday based off this data. We've also got real earnings and employee compensation. That's coming out Thursday, Friday, but not as much, not too important compared to the others. Then we've got the FOMC meeting next week. That's when we get the decision whether it's going to be a rate cut or not. Inflation and Fed outlook week. Yeston said, we'll send you a picture when it arrives this week. How much did you pay for your for the coin, Yeston? Was it for your just a 1 ounce of silver, Britannia? What was the price you had to pay? Not the price that they advertised, but the final figure you actually have to pay. I'm just interested to know how much it is now. Inflation and Fed outlook. TNT Tomorrow News. What about Russian statement on crypto today? It's all over X. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about any Russian statement. Okay, so inflation and Fed outlook. Weak US jobs figures. Only 22. Remember, we covered this data live and it was very low compared to what we were expecting, or much lower than what we were expecting. We got 22,000 payrolls added in August. Unemployment then went up to 4.3%. And it has shifted some of the analysts' forecasts, now forecasting 50 basis point cuts, up from the previously assumed 25 basis points. So after we got that data we got last week about how little jobs were added, the chart changed from just pricing in a 25 basis point rate cut and potentially not even a rate cut to 100% chance of pricing a rate cut and even a chance of pricing in a 50 basis point rate cut, all based on the weakness of the jobs market. But if CPI surprises to the upside, especially services or shelter components, the Fed may only feel comfortable cutting 25 basis point or even delaying the action. If they don't cut rates, then it will be a massive surprise to the markets. Obviously, depending on if we get the inflation data beforehand, maybe we will get prepared for it. But I think September is the month I've said for the last 4 or 5 months that I'm expecting a rate cut, and I am really very much expecting a rate cut to occur no matter what the inflation data is this week. The coming inflation data will be the climatic event of the week. A soft CPI could fuel a relief rally in equities, while a hot reading might sharply reset the growth versus inflation trade. Then we come on to IPOs. It's not just those important bits of information. I mean, those alone would be a massive week. PPI, CPI, and FOMC next week. But we've got even more going on in the markets this week. We've got the IPO watch, launch dates, and spotlight. So the IPO calendar is heating up. Here are the confirmed or expected launch dates and the company rundown. So we've got Klarna, the buy now, pay later company, is expected to start. And remember, these are all expected. We haven't got full confirmations yet, but I just wanted to give you a date anyway, just so you got an idea. We've got guided traders. What are you talking? I have no idea. Guided traders is there in the chat, just giving some waffle. 826 Phoenix. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Guided traders. Sensei, have you heard any news on Gorilla? No, I haven't. Anyway, Klarna is expected to start trading on Wednesday, the 10th of September. It's likely to be priced on Tuesday, the 9th of September. This is the buy now, pay later fintech Swedish firm. It's valued around 14 billion, raising 1.2 billion shares. $1.2 billion, around $35 a share, and around 34 million shares. We've got Figure also IPOing, expected to start trading on Thursday. The details of this company is a blockchain-enabled lending platform targeting a $4.1 billion valuation, raising 526 million. So there we go, another blockchain, another sort of buy now pay later platform, another interest bearing platform, but it's blockchain enabled. That's what the headline they're going with, and that's how they do their That's how they track everything, and that is ticker symbol FIGR. That you can start expecting to start trading on Thursday. Then we've got the one I'm probably most excited about, which is Gemini, ticker symbol JEMI. That's going to launch on the Nasdaq exchange. Expecting trading day is actually on Friday. Again, no confirmation yet, but we're looking most likely on Friday with the information gathered. This is obviously the crypto exchange co-founded by the Winklevoss twins, aiming to raise about 317 million, potentially IPOing about $17 to $19 and 16 million shares. They're looking to offer. That would give it around a $2.2 billion valuations. We also have other IPOs coming up. Firma is a data center energy developer, filed on Monday the 8th of September, but no clear pricing on trading dates announcements yet. So we could have another IPO potentially this week or next. We've also got more. We've got additional names. We've got Legnance, BlackRock Coffee, Via Transportation are also expected this week, making it potentially the busiest IPO week since 2021. What does that show? Well, shortly after we got all those IPOs in 2021, it wasn't long before we entered a bear market. So it is showing that we are in that frothy stage or entering that frothy stage, and there probably might not be much left within this bull market, but I think that's perfect. I think these are all the indicators we want to see going into an altcoin season. We want money flowing in. We want everyone to start getting excited. We want more people buying into IPOs and entering the markets, and this could be lining up very nicely into a altcoin season. So why does it matter for retail investors? New listings bring both excitement and caution. While they can infuse fresh capital into markets, especially tech and crypto sectors, they may also divert liquidity. IPOs often feature initial volatility and can underperform after the first few sessions. Retail traders should consider entering cautiously or waiting for stabilization. We've also got just a few headlines. So obviously the key data triggers: expect sharp moves on Wednesday with PPI, Thursday with CPI. We've got IPO exposure. If you're tracking IPOs like Klarna, Gemini, Figure, or Fermi, be aware of the price volatility. What else do we have? Diversification, obviously, across all sectors is always advised. Be, not by me, but by market professionals, be Fed aware. From CPI prints through to the FOMC press conference on the 17th of September, emotional and financial risk management is magnified. Small overexposures could cause outsized swings. We're going to expect a lot of volatility. Let me just... Excuse me. This week is the dress rehearsal for the Fed. Inflation figures, labor data, and IPO market revival all converge to shape near-term direction. Whether markets confirm a soft landing or a pivot towards caution will depend on data clarity and tone from central banks. Investors should track these live, stay nimble, and ready to reposition once clarity emerges. So be prepared for this, because this week will tell us, is it a soft land? Remember how I keep saying I think there's going to be a soft landing. I'm in the 60% chance there'll be a soft landing, bull market, this, that, and the other, 25% chance of inflation, 15% chance of a recession based on the jobs market. This week is going to either cement that or change that, because this is going to be a very important week with CPI and PPI and the first rate cut in months and months. So that all depends on what CPI and PPI is going to be. So that's why it's going to be such a volatile week, because everyone wants the confirmation now. Are we entering a soft landing, or is it looking like the jobs market is, the Fed is way too late and the jobs market is at risk now of a recession? And this week will confirm that. So that's why I think this PPI and CPI this week is going to be very, very important. Let me go to your comments. And also that's why it's going to be a very volatile week. Let me know, is anyone interested in any of those IPOs? Who's buying what? Let me know. Oh, Walker Wonders, I'm after Klarna. You're going to look to get Klarna. Good luck to you. I do think we're at that point. Again, it's just my thoughts that a lot of these IPOs, even if you just buy them on the day and sell them on the day and risk not being able to buy an IPO or whatever restrictions might occur, I think a lot of these will pop up because of especially if we have a good week with CPI and PPI, because of the sentiments just behind them. So If I could, I'd probably put in bids for all of them. But that's just because I wouldn't put in any more than I can afford to lose, or that I can afford for it to go down 50, 60%. But yeah, it does look like we're at that stage of the market where all of these IPOs are at least doing well on the initial few days. Pump it up, says Walker Wonders. So I'm late to the stream. Is this the ETF news on XRP? No, I haven't mentioned anything about XRP ETF news. The XRP ETF is coming second half of October. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I say it literally every single day. I'm not like the other X people or YouTubers which just say XRP ETF's coming out tomorrow. I've been saying for the last 5 months it's going to be in October. It's going to be in October. Can we do that on Robinhood UK? Jamie Reese, I'm not sure. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Depending on what is actually being IPO'd. If I have a look now, I don't know if anything pops up. Let's have a look. I haven't had I don't think we've got full announcements of them yet, even the pricing. So I don't even think in the US you can see which ones are IPOing yet. I'm trying to have a look. No, I don't. Not at the moment, but potentially, yes, you might be able to do that in Robinhood UK. I had a crown. I don't know if you've ever been able. Has anyone ever been able to do an IPO on Trading 212? Has anyone been able to do an IPO on Trading 212 in the UK? Let me know. I'm trying to see if you can get it on Trading 212. Let me have a look. No, I don't think so. Jamie Reese is not there at the moment, but maybe later. It's not on Trading 212 either, just at the moment. But if you do want Trading 212, which is the one I prefer to Robinhood here in the UK anyway, you can get free shares using that link on Trading 212, and the IPO might be there. But anyway, let me go into some more news. We've got... What else do we have? Yeah, Robinhood entered the S&P 500 after a long wait. So Robinhood markets will officially join the S&P 500 on September the 22nd, a landmark moment for retail brokerage that had long been snubbed despite achieving a $100 billion market cap in July. The news announced on September the 5th sparked a 7% surge in after-hours trading, lifting shares above $107 on Friday's close of $101. Robinhood will replace Caesars Entertainment in the index, joining AppLovin and e-commerce group in the reshuffle. The mission of MicroStrategy, despite meeting the criteria, raised eyebrows and led to a 3% after-hours decline for the Bitcoin-heavy firm. So yes, we were waiting for MSTR to enter the S&P 500, but they got denied and it went down on that news after hours. Has it recovered since? It's had a little recovery since. It was down as much as 5-6% after that news came out, but it has recovered most of those losses since. The timing aligns with Robinhood's strongest financial performance to date. Q2 of 2025 revenue jumped 45% year over year to $989 million, with a net income up 105% to $386 million. Total platform assets reached $279 billion across 26 million funded accounts. Transaction-based revenue soared to $539 million, led by options. $265 million. Oh, I've just lost the screen. Am I still live? Transaction-based revenue to $539 million. Interesting. I think it'll be back in a second. Not sure what's going on. I've just lost one of my screens. I think I'm fine. I don't know why that's happened. If you give me a second. Why is it? Oh, we're back. Oh, no, we're not. What's going on? 1 second, guys. I apologize. I think we're all good. We're back now. Just must have been a loose cable in the back. Anyway, so yes, record financial results for Robinhood. The recent acquisition of Bitstamp added 7 billion in crypto trading volume and over 50 regulatory licenses. Robinhood shares have gained 172% year to date, with a current market cap around 90 billion. Can someone block this guy? What is he on about? Who? What the hell? What is going on in the chat? Let me just sort that one out. Something's weird going on in the chat. Anyway, let me continue. So yeah, Robinhood. Again, I'll make it clear. I don't expect for Robinhood to go on a run again of what we saw back in 23 to 25. Remember, we were looking at Robinhood at about $10 in 2020. Was it 2024? Oh my god, yeah, beginning of 2024. And we've had that massive run since, which we were expecting. But I don't think you're going to get a run like this again on Robinhood in terms of in that short of a time frame. It might still start performing well, but it would. I don't think you're going to get massive moves again like what we've witnessed recently. You've hit most of the traders' points. The last one will be $133, but beyond that, you're just holding it long term, expecting volatility and lower gains than you have recently. 294 people watching, only a few likes. Come on, people. Sick Boys Customs, thank you very much. Yes, please do make sure you are hitting the like button if you are in the show. Let me go on to the next news story, which is UK stocks gain on oil rally, gilt yields ease from multi-decade highs. The FTSE 100 rose 0.3% on Monday, buoyed by the rebound in oil prices that lifted energies majors BP and Shell. Brent crude edged higher after OPEC announced a modest output increase of 137,000 barrels per day starting in October, down sharply from previous monthly hikes of 555,000 barrels. The restrained production move signals the group's caution amidst softening global demand and help stabilize oil prices in the $66 to $67 range. This rebound provided critical support for London's commodity heavy index, with markets watching pointing towards the FTSE 100 structural advantage in energy cycles. Yeah, it's very, very dependent on oil, the markets here in the UK, or the FTSE 100, because of the oil companies that make up most of it. And today we did see a nice bounce on oil prices. If we go here, up about 2% on the day. Let me go over here. Yeah, you've got oil prices about up 2% on the day. I mean, ever since that double bottom, it has gone up. I don't really have a big prediction on oil at the moment. I do think it will start trending up once we break this trend line. I would say I'm a bit more, I don't know, it's in the middle of no man's land really, oil. I don't have too much expectations on it right now. Could go down, could go up. It doesn't really affect my portfolio too much, or many of yours. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much from oil at the moment. Meanwhile, UK gilt yields retreated after a turbulent week in fixed income. The 10-year yield dropped to 4.66% from highs near 4.85%, while the 30-year briefly hit 5.73%, its highest level since 1998, before easing. The reversal followed weak US jobs data that helped cool global bond market jitters. However, pressures remain on Chancellor Rachel Reeves ahead of the autumn budget on November the 26th. We'll be covering that budget live on the show as well, with investors increasingly demanding higher premiums to hold UK debt amid fears of 50 billion physical shortfall. While energy stocks continue to benefit from price stability above $65 a barrel, the broader market remains exposed to spikes in borrowing costs, threatening rate-sensitive sectors like utilities and real estate investment trusts. If you guys do have a chart request, you can do a $5 super chat and I'll have a look at it. Let me go back to your comments while we go through these news stories. Pre-market's looking bullish. Yeah, I think we are in store for a bullish week. I don't think CPI or PPI would be too bad to stop rate cuts happening. We'll have to keep an eye on it. As soon as those PPI and CPI prints come in, we'll have to keep a very close eye on it. Sent you a screenshot on prices. Let's have a look. Yes, then what have you sent me? Okay, I won't bring that up on the screen. I'll look at that later. Sorry, yes. I thought it was something you wanted me to show on the screen. Thank you for sending that, Yestin. Pre-market looking bullish. Hood, we are ready to take gains. Bruce and I to buy ETHA. Thank you, Martyn and Sensei. No worries. Again, remember, Andrew, we don't give financial advice. We're not experts in ETHL. That's the Ethereum ETF, isn't it? Well, good luck. If it's your first exposure to crypto, be careful. It's going to be volatile. There will be 50, 60% pullback, 70% even. There will be upside. There will be downside. There can be bear markets. Be careful when you enter crypto because it'll be an emotional ride. So there you go. If you two want to have that, stop a woman in her tracks of a smile like our great sensei, then smash the like button and watch the magic happen. David Hesley always comes up with the best ways to hit the like button, the best reasons to, and if that isn't a reason to hit the like button, I don't know what is. Make sure you do hit the like button. The Japanese Prime Minister resigned this weekend. How's that going to affect the markets? Sim Maverick, well, it will give some volatility to the Japanese markets. Nothing too significant otherwise, unless it starts coming into the rate. It can become significant. I'll have to look into that a bit more for you. All good. Sorry for bothering. Yes, I love it. Let me see if I can have a look. Defenders. Oh, very interesting. All sorts of things you got here. Yes, I'm just looking at Yestin, what he's bought live on the show. His basket from what he's bought in terms of coins. Yeah, no, I thought you were just buying the best value coins, which would obviously be investment wise, probably potentially the easiest and the best way to do it. But you've got that 2002 token is like a graded coin, hence the higher price tag. You do have a 1 ounce, which is priced rather fairly. Some of them, I don't know what gold or what silver is going for at the moment, but doesn't seem horrific. And then obviously the copper is just a little bit of a fun purchase. Prayers for Martyn Lear, much love. Yes, David Hensley, thank you for that. Let me see if I've missed any other comments. Can we do that in Robinhood UK? Hopefully I answered that question. Steve Mariano, I don't talk about that token anymore, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, but we just don't want to talk about that. Just bought yep, we've answered that one. What else did I miss? Who was here first? Oh, Yestin was here first. Just got my delivery of a 4 ounce silver of 4 ounce of silver and 25 ounce of copper mining coming tomorrow. Yes, send us pictures into Discord when you get them. Always saying thank you for your hard work and course, not your financial advice. Yes, thank you, Angie. Let me continue with some of the news stories. So we've covered gold surging to all-time highs. Why is gold going up so much? Well, because if rate cuts are going to happen, gold seems a bit. It just seems like a better investment because if rates are high, you can earn money just holding it, just buying a bond or something like that. You can get 4-5% just holding cash basically, and very safe. And that's sort of the returns you expect from gold. But if rates are going down, it makes gold a lot more attractive as an investment. So gold soared to an all-time high of about $3,600 per ounce, marking a 43% year-over-year surge and a 7.6% jump over the past month. The rally was fueled by a weaker than expected US jobs report and growing certainty around a Federal Reserve rate cut at its September the 17th meeting, with CME FedWatch data reflecting a near 100% probability of a 25 basis point reduction. Do stay with us, because in about 5 minutes time Martyn will be going live as well. Investors have responded with heavy inflows into gold, bolstered by broader economic concerns and a flight to safety, as the precious metal cements its status as 2025 standout assets. The rally is being driven by a confluence of structural and macro trends, including a softening US labour market, a weakening dollar, and elevated geopolitical risks. Central banks continue accumulating gold as part of a shift away from dollar-dominated assets amid rising doubts over Fed's independence and policy consistency. So all of this stuff you hear in the news about Donald Trump getting involved with the Fed and saying he's going to fire this, that, and the other, and within the Fed as well, and people are now disagreeing with each other on rate cuts and stuff like that. Not only is that just a bit of news, it affects global markets, and the Fed losing its independence, or all of these concerns we now have about the Fed potentially, or whoever created these concerns, or whether that's Donald Trump's fault or whether that's the Fed's fault, whatever you want to say, that increases doubts over the Fed's independence and the consistency of their policy, and that makes people move away from the US dollar as a whole, and the alternative would be gold. So keep that in mind. Those headlines do have an effect behind the scenes. Forward guidance for major analysts now projects potential highs of $3,700 to $4,000 per ounce within 12 months. The surge also reflects intensifying fears around inflation, recession, and central bank credibility, reinforcing gold's role as a hedge against volatility in both equities and fixed income markets. I think gold's been literally a better performer than anything this cycle. If we just have a look at gold, what's it done year to date? Over the last year, it's done 43%, or let's say 43% over the last year. What's Bitcoin done? Bitcoin's done 106%, so fair enough to Bitcoin. What's the S&P 500 done? S&P 500, looking at the wrong one, let's just look at VU. VU has done 17%, so it's outperformed VU massively. What other index can we look at? The FTSE is need to find a FTSE index. The FTSE's done 12%. What else can we have a look at? XRP. XRP's definitely done better than that. XRP over the last year has done 461%. So yeah, it hasn't outperformed crypto, but it's outperformed every stock market index you can think of. Gold up 46%. So if you just think it's not an asset that performs well, you are mistaken, because it has certainly outperformed the market. Okay, I think we've got time for one more news story before Martyn goes live. Let me just go and have a look at these comments. Thoughts on PYTH? Nothing, no thoughts at the moment. Gold is going higher because I'm telling it to. Thank you, Yeston. It's Yeston, he controls the gold. There we go. Thank you, Yeston. Keep telling it to go higher. London's IPO crisis deepens as fund managers turn to private assets. So London is in the midst of the worst IPO drought since 1999, with only 5 listings raising 150 million in the first half of 2025, and a staggering 75% decline from the previous year. Amazing. This is the UK, one of the greatest nations in the world, and it can't get anyone to want to IPO. The collapse continues a 3-year trend that has seen the UK's capital markets lose ground to international rivals. In 2024 alone, 88 companies delisted or relocated their primary listings, making it the largest exodus since global financial crisis. Notable departures include Flutter, Just Eat, and Ashted, all seeking better liquidity and valuations in the US. The historic downturn is forcing a dramatic pivot among UK fund managers who are turning away from public markets in favour of private assets. With 190 billion in undeployed capital, that's their dry powder, private equity, credit and infrastructure are becoming essential allocations. Over 75% of the US companies earning more than $100 million in revenue now remain private, mirroring the global shift that is leaving retail investors with fewer public growth opportunities. In response, UK regulators are fast-tracking reforms, including the launch of PISCES, a new private securities trading platform amidst a revitalisation capital flows and bridging the divide between public and private markets. So that is not the best news. Let me just have a look at some of these charts. Martyn will be going live in a couple minutes' time. I'm going to have a look and see. We've got some lives from Vaz coming up as well. So if I show you the homepage of the channel, if we go here onto lives, it's not public yet, but Vaz is going to come out with a few live streams this week, a few videos this week. I'm going to have a couple more videos coming out later today, so keep an eye on the channel. It's not made public yet, but I know there's a few things brewing behind the scenes. So do keep an eye out on the channel. I need to go and have a Lemsip and some paracetamol because I don't know what's going on with me. Anyway, blame Brexit for the lack of IPOs, says DJ Haynes. Thank you, DJ, for chiming in. Well done, Keir Starmer and Rachel from Accounts. Blame Brexit for everything. Do you think every IPO this week will be bullish? I think most of them will be, yeah, at least very short term, because I think everyone's excited to be part of these IPOs. Well done, Keir Starmer and Rachel from Accounts. Do you think IPOs this week? Yep, okay, I've answered that one. Let's go back here. Okay, so I'm about to end the show. Let me just end with a sort of not a very nice story, but it's the Russia unleashes record air assault on Ukraine, strikes Kiev capital. So we will probably see some more developments from this, as this is quite a big escalation. Russia launched its most extensive aerial bomb. Russia launched its most extensive aerial bombardment since the war's onset, firing 823 drones and missiles into Ukraine overnight into Sunday, September the 7th. The attack marked the first direct hit on the main government complex in central Kiev, setting the cabinet building ablaze and killing at least 4 people, including a mother and her 3-year-old infant. Terrible, terrible stories coming out now. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky condemned the strikes as a deliberate crime and called for immediate US sanctions. The assault involves 810 drones and 13 missiles, among them ballistic and cruise types, of which Ukraine's air defense claimed to have intercepted 747 drones and 4 missiles. The attack, spanning 33 locations and injuring 44 people, surpassed the previous record of 741 munitions launched on July the 9th. Russian Defense Ministry insisted the targets were military, including drone assembly and logistic hubs, denying any civilian strikes within Kiev's boundaries. The timing overlapping with diplomatic discussions suggests a prolonged uncertainty. For investors, such escalations heighten risk of sentiments, particularly in energy and defence markets. Natural gas oil remained vulnerable to conflict-driven shocks, while defence sector equities, especially in Europe, tend to outperform during periods of sustained geopolitical tension. You've then got the deep dive story. There is the economic calendar and the chart of the day, but I don't want to give all the premium stuff away in today's newsletters. But do go and check out the newsletter. Here is the link for the newsletter. Here it is. Let me go to your comments once again. So do stay with me. We're going to go over to Martyn in just the next couple minutes. Which IPOs are you eyeing right now? It's all the ones in the newsletter that we covered. I mean, basically most of them. And the one I'm most interested about is Gemini. Poets, Papy, Pooping Baby Poet. Okay, A-Dog, I don't think I want to get invested into that scam, probably. I don't know if it's a scam or not, but it sounds very meme coin, rug pull-ish. Great morning, great morning, Sensei and family. Yes, I'm expecting a good week. I am optimistic that PPI and CPI will be in line with what we expect. Even if it's lower, that would be amazing because it will really give the Fed the runway to cut rates. And if inflation and inflation data, whether it's PPI, CPI, are both lower than consensus, it allows them to do a 50 basis point cut, and that's what could fuel an even bigger rally this week. Nasdaq files to allow tokenization and blockchain listing of stocks. Yes, we are getting a allows tokenization and blockchain listing of. Oh, okay. Thank you, DMP, for that news. Always a great show. Thank you, Yolanda. Sorry, my voice is a bit different. I think I'm just getting unwell, so I'm sorry if the energy wasn't here today. But we had a great members only show yesterday. Do consider becoming a member because we will do more of them. Where is the membership link? Here is the membership link. Oh, put it in the wrong place. Here it is. We did a general knowledge quiz yesterday. We might do different types of quizzes, but we did it on a great platform where you could see the leaderboard and everything. So we'll do more of them. I'll look into the best ways of doing that. So do check out the members only stream. Go see what it was like. Everyone loved it, and we will probably do it again soon. Maybe my Sunday shows will become members only. We never know. Oh, and on that news, I am going away on my honeymoon. It's a bit overdue. I did get married quite a while ago, but it's our first real chance to go away. So I won't be having a Sunday show. I'll be probably off for a week or two starting Friday, or I think I'll be live on Friday. But essentially, Sunday, no Sunday show, no shows next week or the week after. So then hopefully I'll be back when Martyn will be going on his break in October. Obviously, there'll be complications with that break, but I'm sure he'll still want to take the time off. So, I'll be back before that. I'll be gone for a couple of weeks starting Friday. But when I'm back, we'll do a lot of members events. Remember, anyone who did get that 100,000 merch, go and check the link that the QR code takes you to. If you are part of the people that didn't get the merch but got the auction, please do contact me so we can get you your item shipped out, and in the meantime I'll give you the link because I know it won't come in time. The event is this week, so do check it out. Members only was great and was a fun game. Swift Coin Hoarder, yes, you were there. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm getting married on the 20th of this month in Sao Paulo. Congratulations, Sick Boy Customs. That is great news. Wow, Sao Paulo, that sounds like a nice place. Let's see what that looks like. It's like I'm sure they'll have nice venue. Oh, what we're doing. Sounds like they'll have some cool venues. Let's have a look. I don't even know where it is. South America? I don't know. Yeah, Brazil. Wedding. Looks very nice. Just looking at some pictures. Weddings from Sao Paulo. This is what I'm looking at now. Anyway, that's great news. Oh, we've got a link from Martyn, so we'll go there in a second. Here is the link from Martyn, and that's starting very shortly. Always a great show. Members only. I'm getting. Good morning. Thanks for the update. No worries, Mando. Happy anniversary. Yes, I think my anniversary was actually good 5 months ago now. Was it June? Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago. But thank you anyway. Yeah, this honeymoon is well overdue. So will it be a good week for the markets? 42% of you say super bullish, 39% of you say bullish, about 17% of you are bearish. Brazil, yes, I've just seen it. Very nice. So I think it's going to be a bullish week. We have to look at PPI, CPI, the most important PPI and CPI we've got probably ever in the last sort of 4 years, or in the last 3-4 years, because of the fact that we haven't had rate cuts for a while, and this will cement a soft landing or not, and it could be very important. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on this week. Also, the IPOs, will be covering it all live on the show. But now we're going to go over to Martyn for an XRP show. Here is the link to where we're going. It will redirect you right there, but I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the morning forecast show, live again tomorrow. But until next time, keep an eye out for Vaz's streams later and my videos. But until later, take care of yourselves and each other. Go straight to Martyn's show. And he annoyed me by saying cash in the attic, so we need to just go into a show and say sent me. I don't know. Just spam it. Anything. I give everyone the permission to go into his chat and just spam anything. Just go wild in the keyboard with your keyboard. Just spam. We won't block you. Don't worry. I'm giving you permission to do that. Remember your anniversary said so. We'll be in trouble. Yes. I need to remember that. Love the engagement and interest looking into the wedding location in Brazil. Yeah, yeah, we love it. Anyway, going into Martyn's show now. There is a link. Go and spam him. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.